The average person will spend 90,000 hours at work in their lifetime. Your ancestors worked about 15 hours a week. They had no boss, no commute, no weekends because they didn't need a break from anything. They were not lazy. They were just finished. In 1968, an anthropologist named Richard Lee published years of data on the hoansi people of the Kalahari Desert. He had tracked their time down to the minute. Every task, every chore, everything that kept them alive. His total came to about 15 hours of work per week. Hunting, gathering, cooking, tool repair, all of it. Most of us hit that before lunch on Tuesday. So what did they do with the other 50 hours we now spend under fluorescent lights? Let's walk through their day. Sunrise. You wake up because the sky gets lighter. That's the alarm. The temperature shifts, the birds change, the camp starts moving around you. You slept on the ground, maybe a hide, maybe grass. A fire someone fed through the night. Everything you own is within arm's reach. A digging stick, a bow, a pouch, maybe beads from someone you love. There are 25 to 30 people around you. You know every one of them. You have known every one of them your entire life. Your commute is standing up. The first hour is conversation, not a meeting, not small talk while the coffee brews. This conversation is load-bearing. Who took more than their share yesterday? Who's been generous? Who's been quiet and might be sick? Who is sleeping with whom and whether it's going to be a problem? This is the legal system, the news, the government. You handle all three before breakfast. Polly Wiessner, an anthropologist at the University of Utah, recorded and categorized conversations among the hoansi. She found that daytime talk was mostly practical. Complaints, logistics, who goes where. At night, by firelight, 81% was stories. People who weren't there. People who had died. Hunts that went wrong in beautiful ways. The campfire was their internet, their theater, their history class. You get 45 minutes of a podcast on the drive to work. They got hours, every night, with people they actually loved. Mid-morning. The camp splits. The women leave in groups, 3, 5, 8. They walk toward food sources they have memorized over a lifetime. Their mothers showed them. Their grandmothers showed their mothers. They dig, they gather, they talk the whole time. This is where most of the camp's decisions actually happen. Not around a conference table, on a walk with a digging stick. Frank Marlowe, who studied the hadza of Tanzania for decades, found that women provided more than half the camp's daily calories. Steady, reliable, every single day. The men hunt, some days, not all days. Hunting is dramatic, also mostly unsuccessful. A hadza hunter might walk 15 miles, track an animal for hours, lose it, and come home with nothing but sore legs and a few small birds. Marlowe found that most hunters come home empty-handed on any given day. A big kill happens every few days, sometimes less. You go to work every day and produce something. A hunter can work all day and produce nothing. He eats anyway. The camp feeds him because next week he might be the one who connects. The system runs on trust, not output. Your job pays you for your time. Their life paid them for being part of a group. Different currency, different math. When a kill does come in, the meat doesn't belong to the hunter. It gets divided, whole camp. The hunter often gets one of the worst cuts. If he brags, people mock him. Richard Lee experienced this himself. He bought the biggest ox he could find as a Christmas gift for the Jew hoansi. They mocked it for days. Too thin, bad meat, a waste of everyone's time. Lee was confused. He'd chosen the animal carefully. An elder explained, When a hunter brings home a big kill, the camp makes fun of it. They say it's small. The meat is terrible. The bigger the kill, the harder the mockery. This is how they keep anyone from thinking they are above anyone else. We have corporate hierarchies. They had jokes. Different technology. Same problem. Midday. You eat. Then you stop. Nobody works through the heat. This is not laziness. This is the original schedule. The one your body was built for. You nap. You sit in shade. You repair arrows. You pick through someone's hair, which is mostly an excuse to be physically close to someone for an hour. Children play near you. A 3-year-old digs with a tiny stick next to her mother. By 6, she'll find food on her own. By 10, she'll feed the family. There is no school, no classroom, no separation between learning and living. A child learns by watching, copying, and doing the work right next to the adults who are doing it. This is how human children learned for 300,000 years. We replaced it with desks about 200 years ago. Afternoon. People walk to neighboring camps, a few miles. They visit relatives, trade gossip, arrange marriages, come back. By adulthood, you know more than 100 people personally, every one by name and full history. You also know that roughly 4 out of every 10 children in your camp won't make it to 5. You've buried some of them yourself. Infection, injury, a fever that came and didn't leave. A snake bite with no antivenom because antivenom doesn't exist and won't for 300,000 years. A cut that goes bad can kill you. A broken leg might mean you never walk the same way again. A difficult birth can take both the mother and the child. This is not paradise. This was never paradise. It was just a different set of problems. Immediate, physical, solvable by your own hands or not solvable at all. Evening. The whole camp eats together, every night. Whatever came back that day gets shared. Roasted roots, meat if someone got lucky, fruit split among children, seeds chewed soft by a grandmother for a baby who can't chew yet. Then the fire, the stories, the hours of talking that Wiessner documented. This is the other half of the day, the half with no survival purpose at all. Except it might be the most important half. This is where the group stays a group, where grudges dissolve, where a child hears about a grandparent who died before she was born, where someone tells a joke so good it will get retold at 3 other camps within the week. Then sleep. You'll do almost exactly this again tomorrow. For 300,000 years, every human on Earth lived some version of this day. Then one day, about 12,000 years ago, somebody planted a seed on purpose. That's the best guess. Somewhere in what is now Iraq, Syria, Turkey, a human looked at wild grain and thought, what if I put this here and came back later? It worked. Agriculture did something hunting and gathering never could. It created surplus, more food than you need today. And surplus changed everything. If you can grow more than you eat, you can store it. If you can store it, someone has to guard it. If someone guards it, someone can own it. If someone owns it, someone decides who eats and who doesn't. Jared Diamond, in a 1987 article for Discover magazine, called agriculture the worst mistake in the history of the human race. The skeletal evidence supports him. Early farmers were shorter than hunter-gatherers, more malnourished, more diseased, worse teeth. They worked more and ate less. But they couldn't go back. Surplus meant more children surviving. More children meant more mouths. More mouths meant more farming. The trap closed behind them. Within a few thousand years, permanent settlements. walls, granaries, kings, priests, tax collectors, soldiers. And for the first time in 300,000 years of human existence, the job. Not work. Humans always worked. But the job. The arrangement where your time belongs to someone else in exchange for access to resources you used to walk outside and pick up. That was new. The hoansi had no word for it. They didn't need one. 12,000 years later, you set an alarm for 6 a.m., drive 40 minutes to a building you don't own, and spend 8 hours making someone else's project move forward. That feeling you get on Sunday night, the one that tightens your chest before the week begins, is 12,000 years old. For the 300,000 years before that, it didn't exist.